You're playing at the AB tonight.
Yep.
What can we expect?
It's always a hard question. I don't know. A band playing songs, LCD Soundsystem songs, and maybe a cover or two.
The time has come, the time has come, the time has come today. The time has come, the time has come, the time has come today. Bills.
It's the second time that you're playing here. Are you glad to be back?
I am glad to be back. I feel like we didn't play. I feel like our show last time wasn't good enough, and I had made a point to come. Like Belgium's been really receptive to us. It's been a really good place for us. Like whenever I come DJ or like in the press here and just with audience, it's been like a really kind of like one of those second homes for us.
Was it different to make the second album instead of the first one? Did it went quicker, or did you use other tools?
It was a little bit different. I mean, I went away to this farm studio, which I went away to make the first record in a farm as well. And this one, I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I felt the first record was a little too woody. I left the sounds too pure, and I honored the sounds too much for each individual song. And I thought at the expense of the album as a whole. I think different things stuck out on the first record because they were unusual for people. In other words, when like a song like Daft Punk or a song like Movement kind of jumped out off the first record because they were weird. And so the album in people's minds is much more about that sound. Mm-hmm. And this record seems to be a lot more, there's a different kind of emotional stuff, even though there is almost a mirror of every song on both records, which I did kind of on purpose. But I think what's more noticeable to people is that it seems prettier. Like I'm singing more than yelling, I'm only singing more than yelling because I didn't want to just parody myself. I wanted to try and do things that were a little more embarrassing to me.
The title of the album,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean about that? With that?
Well, the album title came before the album. Like that was what I went into the studio knowing that it was called Sound of Silver.
Yeah.
And I'd thought about the first album and thought that it was a little too woody and beige, and I wanted to make an album that was a little more silver.
Over me.
I don't want to just be a caricature of myself. I'd like to try and make something that's silvery too, because that's what's fun. And so I just covered the studio in silver and worked in the silver environment the whole time just to keep my brain, when I was resting, like looking at silver. I think when you work and you look at things, it changes. Like if you're at the beach, you feel differently than you do in the city or on a farm or something. So being in a silver room just kind of kept reminding me to try different things.
Yeah. And the album just came out, and on the internet there's already a remix album available.
Yeah.
It's called Sounds Like Silver.
Yeah.
Did you already heard it?
I haven't heard it yet. I was given a copy, I think, in Glasgow.
Do you donate also?
To Médecins Sans Frontières. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I did some research, and it's one of the things that uses the most of what you give them to directly go to people. Like, because I have a friend of mine who's a doctor in New York who spent years being part of that program, and the doctors are really dedicated, and they donate a lot of their time, but also they pay for their own flights sometimes. So it's like if you give them $1, like 80 cents of it or some really high amount actually goes to people. And a lot of things, if you actually do the research, you find if you give them $1, about like 4 cents winds up going, because they have this big apparatus that they have to run.
Last question. Your big hit from in the past, Daft Punk, is playing at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already meet Daft Punk?
I met them really very lightly. I think they're shy. I don't know them very well, but they seem very shy when I meet them. I've met them a couple times, and they seem really lovely, but really like oh, hello, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm a little shy, and it's very funny.
Thank you very much and have a nice gig tonight.
Thank you.
Over and over again. Us, be them. Over and over again. Thanks very much.